So in today's video we're going to discuss how you can add plugins to your site, what plugins we would recommend to use, and some plugins that can help you on your journey to developing your own website. Firstly, what is a plugin? A plugin is a piece of software that contains a group of functions that can be added to your WordPress site. These can do a multiple variant of things such as extend the functionality, add new features, or even give you the ability to change the design, the style of your site. Without plugins, most WordPress sites would be very generic. You wouldn't have a lot of options, you wouldn't have a lot of style, customization, or features included. And they're one of the things that can really make your website from almost having zero appearance and function to having a complete and full style website from every perspective. Now, the plugins can vary in a list of what they can do, from optimizing your site for performance and speed to also giving you a bit better options and functionality on the site. And to do this, you simply need to go down to the toolbar and click on plugins. And when you click on plugins, you'll see a list of the plugins that you'll have pre-installed. Now, as you can see, as an example, we have some plugins that I've already went and installed on this particular site. But in most cases, this actually may only have 2 or 3, and it's installed by WordPress directly. And we'll go through these plugins at a point where we want to discuss variant options that you can do. Well, one of the first things you may want to do is simply go to add a new plugin. You can either click the link here, or again, just like I've been showing you before, at the top beside plugins, click add new. And this will bring you to the WordPress store or hub. And here you can see you have a list of all the options. You have a list of the featured plugins. So these are the list, or the most common plugins that are normally installed. Popular plugins at the moment. These are listed in terms of the most downloads and installs that are being made. And then recommended and favorites. Now personally, I always recommend looking at the popular installs at this time, because this will give you an idea of what is most commonly used. Now if you go across this, you'll see immediately the first 3, out of the first 3, we have 2 installed already. So the first is Contact Form 7. Self-explanatory enough. On most websites, you may want to have some form of Contact Us page or contact form. And to use that feature, it doesn't necessarily come as part of the default installation of WordPress, so we want to get one. And to get one, all you have to do is get a plugin. So there's Contact Form 7. It's a fantastic contact form plugin. It's very flexible, allows you to create an inquiry form giving names, email addresses, and messages. And this will send an email to your personal email to let you know that someone has been on your website, a user or a guest, and they have filled out this form. Now, of course, at a later date we can come back and go in detail about Contact Form 7, but for the tutorial of this video, we simply just want to show you how to install a plugin. So as an example, with a contact form, you'll also may receive possible spam. You may have content coming in or emails coming in that aren't necessarily important, or they're just a nuisance and going to cause problems. So what we want to do is try and defeat that, and we want to add a spam filter. So to add a plugin, once you're happy enough, you've looked at a plugin, also have a look for how long it's been updated. So if you're ever not too sure about a plugin, if you don't see a lot of reviews and updates, try to look for something that's always being updated on a regular basis. Updates will match obviously the level of WordPress that we're currently on, but it will also help with patching out any bugs or issues. So try to look at the update date. Also look at the compatibility with your theme. So as I said before, themes can vary. You can have custom build themes which have been built by a developer. You can have sold and retailer themes which are sold on a site like Inventor Market, where you can buy a completed theme. Or of course you can be using the default theme that comes with WordPress. Now in most cases we'd like to hope, in this example we're using the 2017 WordPress theme. I'd like to hope that they're going to all be compatible. But you may see some that'll say untested with your version. As you'll see here is a perfect example. And don't worry about this, but we would also recommend to make a backup before you do anything with your work, with your design, before adding some plugins, as you may see some are completely incompatible and will not work at all. But for the example of this, we're going to install a plugin called AskCommit, and this is used to check comments and form submissions against their database to protect from spam and any form of malicious content. So to install a plugin, I've said before, first of all you can click on it to learn a bit more, to read its information. You can see how to install it, changelog, FAQs and reviews, just to find out a bit more information. But for the process of this, we'll not spend too much time. We simply want to install now. So all we do is we hit the install now button. You'll notice, depending on your internet connection, you'll get the connectivity spinning. to show that it is installing. And once it's successfully installed, you'll get a tick followed by an activate button. The activate button will just enable this plugin on your site. It will turn it on and it will activate it straight away. So once you have a plugin activated, the next process you'll want to do then is check the Readme files of that plugin to ensure how you know how to set it up. And this will be as simply as clicking on the link before. You can view the details of who it's by, the author, or even see a bit more information. So we can view the details. We can check the Readme files, the installation, and how it's been set up. The process of Ask-A-Mate though, it will always come up by default asking you to set up the account. And from here you can go taken straight to settings. You can get your key, follow the instructions on screen here, and you can set up your account to stop any form of contact spam coming through. Again, a very quick and easy process of how to install a plugin, but this is the basics idea. Now of course, after a period of time you may decide that you have a lot of plugins you maybe don't need anymore, or possibly you've found a fault or a bug in your website. One of the easiest ways to pick up bugs and faults is to install plugins that are actually incompatible or not supported by your website. And to test this without removing any data or uninstalling any content, simply click the deactivate button. So for the example of this, we will click deactivate on Ask-A-Mate. It takes a few seconds and you can see it's now no longer highlighted blue. The highlighted blue simply means that they're currently active and running on your site. As part of this process though, again, it's a good way to fish out any problems or bugs that you may not be aware of. It's a case of just deactivating and then checking your site. And if you find they have solved the issue, then simply just delete the plugin, as it may no longer be required on your site and it's just using unnecessarily space. Again, once you're happy with your plugins and you're confirmed, you do not need to press a save button or apply any changes. Once you have made the changes, either it's deactivate, install or activate, you will notice of course that the plugin will just be saved immediately. On the outside of that, if you deactivate a plugin and you decide later you want to reactivate it, simply just click the activate link below, and this is where the plugin will then again be activated and saved immediately. And from that is simply how to install a plugin. Now in the next video what we're going to do is come back to the plugins, and we're going to look at the plugins that we use at Profile Tree. We're going to go through these in a bit more detail and add a few extra plugins to what we would recommend to use. And we'll talk about the differences between your performance plugins, the change and modification plugins, and then the help and assistance plugins. And when I say help and assistance, I mean how they can support your website, help you publish more content, help you get the content in the right direction, and of course enhance your SEO and the overall version of your site. And these are the different plugins that we're going to come back to at a later date, as we want to go in detail about what these plugins can do for you as a content creator, as an informational website, or even as just someone who just wants to learn a bit about WordPress. And we want to make these options always open to you. Again, at any time though, if you have any questions, any issues or any problems at any time, just send us an email or a comment down below and we'll certainly try and get back to you as quick as we can. Thanks very much for listening, and I'll see you in the next video.